For as long as you and I have been practicing in this country, one number has quietly governed how we design almost every tall building 15 meters. Cross 15 meters, and suddenly your building is a high rise. You need a firefighting shaft, a wet riser, refuge areas, different pump regime, a different approval pathway. 15 meters has been the line in the sand for an entire generation of architects and engineers. In 2026, that line moved, and almost nobody is talking about it properly. So let's fix that today. If we haven't met, I'm Puneet Sharma. I run MSCO and Design, an MEPF design consultancy out of Delhi. My team and I spend our days doing exactly this: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire design for buildings across India and a handful of other countries. High rises, airports, hospitals, mixed use towers. Wave 1 in Noida, the new terminal at Daman. This is the world we live in every single day. I'm telling you that not to impress you, but so you know this isn't a video of somebody reading the code out loud. This is a working consultant telling you what actually changed, what it means when you sit down at the drawing board, and where it can quietly get you into trouble. Because the National Building Code just went through its biggest revision in years, and the fire and life safety portion in particular has been rebuilt. Not tweaked, rebuilt. Here's where we're going in the next few minutes. First, the rename and why it's not just cosmetic. Second, the 24-meter shift, the big one. Third, the new occupancy map. Fourth, why one firefighting table quietly became 10. Fifth, what changed in egress, occupant load, exit widths, travel distance. Sixth, refuge areas and a genuine rethink of how we evacuate hospitals. And seventh, the single most important caveat that almost everyone forgets, and it's the one that can get your drawings rejected. Stay with me to the end for that last one, because it's the difference between looking clever in a design meeting and getting a notice from the authority. Let's start with the name, because it tells you something. What we all called the National Building Code, the NBC, is now the National Building Construction Standards, NBCS. And the fire portion we knew as Part 4 is now Part F. Now you could shrug and say it's just a rename, but names in code writing are deliberate. The move toward the word standards signals a shift in mindset from a single prescriptive rulebook toward a more standards and performance-driven approach, where the requirements scale with the nature and the risk of the building rather than snapping to a few fixed thresholds. Keep that idea in your head, scale with risk, because you'll see it show up again and again in what follows. Now the big one, the one that changes projects. Under the old code, a building became a high-rise at 15 meters. Under NBCS 2026, that trigger has moved up to 24 meters. Curious. Think about what that actually does. Every building sitting between roughly 16 and 23 meters, a whole band of mid-rise buildings, is no longer automatically classified as high-rise. Excited, and the high-rise classification is what dragged in a lot of your heaviest requirements: the firefighting shaft, the wet riser regime, the refuge areas, the specific pump and storage demands. So on paper, this looks like relief. A 4, 5, 6-story building that used to attract high-rise provisions might not anymore. That's real. Serious. But, and I want you to hear this clearly, do not go back to your live projects tonight and start stripping out risers because of this video. Here's why. And this connects to that scale with risk idea. The new code doesn't just remove requirements, it redistributes them. Height caps that used to exist have largely given way to requirements that scale with height instead. So the question is no longer a simple high rise, yes or no. It's how tall, what occupancy, and what does that combination now demand. It's more nuanced and honestly more intelligent, but it means you have to read the building, not just measure it. Third change, the occupancy classification got more granular, and this matters more than it sounds. The old A through somewhere grouping has been expanded. There's a new group for mixed-use buildings, which, let's be honest, is most of what actually gets built now. A tower with retail at the base, offices in the middle, apartments on top used to be an awkward fit. Now it has a home in the code. Business occupancies have been split to recognize buildings we didn't really have a category for before, data centers being the obvious example. A data center is not an office. It has a completely different fire load, different suppression logic, different people density. Giving it its own classification means it finally gets requirements that fit it. Same logic extends to things like underground retail. Why should you care? Because the entire fire strategy of a building now flows from getting its classification right. Misclassify the building and every downstream requirement you pull will be the wrong one. In the old code, you could sometimes get away with a rough fit. In NBCS, the fit is the foundation. Now here's a change that will change your daily workflow. In the old code, there was essentially one master table for firefighting installations, one table you'd go to figure out what a building needs, wet riser, downcomer, sprinklers, hose reels, hydrants, and so on. That single table is gone. In its place, you now have a family of tables. Think of it as one table per occupancy, laid out group by group, plus dedicated tables for water storage requirements. The practical effect is simple but important. You can no longer apply one generic set of firefighting requirements across a mixed portfolio. You go to your building's occupancy, you read its table. A hospital's requirements, a mall's requirements, a data center's requirements, they now live in their own rows, tuned to that building type. It's more work upfront, but it kills a lot of the over and under provisioning we used to see when everyone worked off one blunt instrument. Let's talk about getting people out, because egress got a real overhaul. First, occupant load, the number of people we assume a space holds, has been recast, with clearer distinction between net and gross floor area factors. That number drives everything downstream. How many exits, how wide, how many staircases. So a change here ripples through your whole egress design. Second, and this is a quiet but significant one, exit capacity is now expressed in millimeters of exit width per person. If you've ever worked with or looked at international codes, that will feel familiar. We've moved away from the old unit width way of thinking toward a per person millimeter basis, which brings us in line with global practice and frankly, makes the calculation more transparent. Third, travel distance. This is my favorite change because it rewards good design. Travel distances are now differentiated by whether the building is sprinklered. Put in a proper sprinkler system and you're permitted longer travel distances. That's the code explicitly acknowledging that an active suppression system buys you safety and giving you planning flexibility in return. For those of us designing large floor plates, that's a genuinely useful lever. Two more that I want you to know about. Refuge areas have been re-engineered, the where, the how much, the how often. There's clearer treatment of refuge provision as buildings get taller, including specific handling for tall residential buildings. If you design apartments, pay close attention to the height at which refuge obligations kick in, because it's been made explicit. But the change I find most thoughtful is in hospitals. Traditionally, our evacuation thinking has been alarm sounds, everybody out. Now think about who's actually in a hospital. Patients in surgery, people in the ICU, someone who physically cannot be moved in 90 seconds. Everybody out was never realistic for them. NBCS leans into progressive evacuation, sometimes called defend in place. The idea is you move people horizontally, compartment to compartment, away from the fire, rather than forcing a full vertical evacuation of people who can't manage it. It's a more humane and more honest model of how a hospital actually behaves in an emergency. If you design healthcare, this is a fundamental shift in how you plan compartments and horizontal exits. And now the one thing I promised you, the caveat that matters more than any single technical change. NBCS, like the code before it, is recommendatory. It is a national standard, not automatically the law in your jurisdiction. What actually governs your building is your local or state building bylaws and the authority having jurisdiction, your AHJ. So here's the trap. You watch a video like this, you get excited about the 24-meter relief, and you go and apply it to a live project. But if your state bylaw still defines high-rise at 15 meters, or your local fire authority hasn't adopted NBCS yet, then on that project, the old number still rules. So the correct move is never the new code says so. The correct move is understand the new standard deeply, which is what today was about, and then confirm adoption with your AHJ before you apply any of the relief on a real building. Know the standard code, verify the jurisdiction, in that order. Here AHJ is authority having jurisdiction like Chief Fire Officer or State Fire Service and Municipal Corporation, DDA, GMDA. So let's pull it together. The National Building Code is now NBCS 2026. The 15-meter high-rise line has moved to 24. Occupancies got smarter. One firefighting table became a family of them. Egress moved toward per-person widths and sprinkler rewarded travel distances. Refuge was rebuilt, and hospitals finally got an evacuation model that matches reality. And through all of it runs one idea: requirements that scale with risk, not requirements that snap to a threshold. If you take one thing from this, stop measuring your building and start reading it. Now I know that's a lot and you can't design from a video. So I've put all of this into a proper clause-by-clause comparison guide. NBC 2016 versus NBCS 2026, Fire and Life Safety, with the tables, the worked examples for every occupancy, and the practitioner cautions. If you want it, just comment the word fire and I'll send it across. And if you want the same treatment for plumbing, HVAC, and electrical, follow along, those guides are coming. I'm Puneet, design carefully, verify locally, and I'll see you in the next one.